Good morning, listeners. Welcome back. You are listening to the Internet Marketing and Business Solution Radio Show with Ronald Couming of RCS Technology Solutions. At RCS Technology Solutions, we provide business owners and entrepreneurs with online marketing media services that allow them to achieve even greater success in the goals that they set when they went into business. This radio show is broken up into 3 pieces. The first 2 pieces, we have guests come in from around the country and sometimes from other countries. As you just heard earlier today, we had Claudia in from Australia. Last week, we had Azik in from Amsterdam. Today, our next listener is going to be from Chicago. The third section is the educational section, where I talk for 7 to 10 minutes, whatever is left after my 2 interviews, and I give you some actionable tips to increase your internet marketing yourself, should you have the skill set. So, our second speaker today is Brian Sly. He is a strategic leader in the video marketing space, helping businesses get past one-and-done barriers. Brian Sly initially founded Emblem Media as a full-service video production company. As he spoke with more businesses about their needs, he realized it wasn't the productions that made the videos impactful, but the emotions behind their messaging. He developed live messaging to help businesses connect with their viewers. Brian, you on the line?
I am here, Ron. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Calling in all the way from Chicago, the Windy City.
I know. It's not quite 2 a.m. I'm not in Australia. I'm only an hour behind you, but happy to be here.
Yeah, that was amazing. Are you going to be in San Francisco later in November?
I am not, unfortunately.
Yeah, because you'd get to meet her, too. She's a wonderful person. But tell me more about you and your business.
Well, right now we're trying to get around all the hype from the Cubs making it to the World Series, so the city's kind of going a little crazy right now.
Yeah.
But in terms of business, we're really taking off in terms of moving away, kind of like your little intro, moving away from the production side. And while we still do commercials and training videos for online, we're focusing more on the strategy side to make sure that businesses understand why they're doing video and not just writing a check to the next person who comes along who says, hey, I can make a video for you.
Yeah, and we both know, I mean, that's huge, like having an introduction video, maybe a product or a service video, as well as something on the back end to contact us. But we both know, and maybe the listeners do or don't, but in a couple of years, by 2020 at the latest, by Mark Zuckerberg, Google, and several other powerhouses have mentioned this, 70+% of all searches are going to result in a video response. The blogs are kind of going out unless the blogs have a video contained within them.
Yeah, they are. It's crazy how in even the last 3 years things have changed. I mean, you look at Google's the #1 search engine, but YouTube's #2 right behind them. So videos are becoming more and more prevalent in all the business world. You know, the fun part about it is, for us, is making sure that we can get your video shown in a world that's run by, cat videos and comedies and all the other things that get lost on YouTube.
Yeah, and also you mentioned that Google is #1 and YouTube is #2, which is accurate. But also Google owns YouTube. Google doesn't make too many mistakes when it comes to business. I remember when they started, 14, 15 years ago. But, they're pretty sharp, and then they spent a lot of money on YouTube, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, they did. It's crazy how everything has evolved over the last few years. And like you mentioned, video is the future, and you'll be seeing more and more companies, students, hobbyists getting into the video realm. I mean, even just from the friends and colleagues I've known over the years, how many photographers have transitioned into the video world just to have another offering because video is so popular.
Yeah, and it's important doing videos and being authentic. Last night, 60 Minutes, I was watching the Patriots game I hope that doesn't alienate Chicago fans, but I have to stay apolitical, sports. I have to stay all that stuff on the radio show. But when it comes to my Patriots, I am a fan. So I was watching the game last night, and then I saw a thing on Facebook as I was watching the game. As you know, as a business owner, you can't really just rest. So I had my laptop doing emails and checking Facebook and stuff. And Gary Vaynerchuk came on, and he just put up a little post that he was going to be on 60 Minutes. So he was on 60 Minutes as well as several other people who are in the video space, the social media space, the YouTube, the influencers. So even 60 Minutes is getting into it. I mean, this is the way of the future. How can you help some people get past? Because, there's a difference. If somebody's going to go on Facebook and do a Facebook Live, and, some of the biggest videos that got a lot of views were people just waking up and being real or doing silly things, make them laugh and make them cry. But when it comes to business and you really want to connect with the audience, how are some of the ways that you can help people and prevent them from making mistakes that will actually hurt them with their audience?
Well, I think you hit it right on the head. By keeping it real, by keeping it light, by being who you are, connecting with your viewers in a way that tells them that you care about them more than you care about the sale. And I think that's why the vlogs, the video blogs, and the YouTube videos and the Facebook videos and Vine and all the other social media outlets we have out there, why those are working so well for businesses when the content is relevant, when the speakers are talking about results that they can provide for their viewers and not just an ego boost, hype-filled video, which unfortunately many businesses do, where they spend their whole time talking about what they do as a business and not so much how they can help their viewers.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great. Now, what are some of the steps? If somebody actually was going to hire you, let's say tomorrow morning, they gave you a conversation today, what are some of the things that they would need to, what are some of the type of videos that they would need, and what would be some of the content that they would need to get to you to make that happen?
Well, I don't think there's necessarily a single video per business that you have to have. I know the common terminology now is About Us video, where you need a video for your About Us page. And in a sense, you do. I mean, you want people to know who you are and what you do. But really the biggest thing is you got to make this work for your business. If you're talking to your viewers and you're providing these videos, but you don't have any financial goals in place or social media goals in place ahead of time to know what you want to get out of the video, then you're kind of taking a step forward and then two steps back, because you may get some great views on the video. You might get a couple, comments here and there, but you're not really getting traction. So the number one thing we suggest, my company, is that we would sit down, we'd talk about what you're doing as a business and what your goals as a business are, and then how can we add video to that to make sure that they connect. So it's not just about if your business wants to get, let's say, more foot traffic to your brick-and-mortar store, then the video has to align with that. And what we would do is put together a strategy that says, all right, steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 will help you get to this point. Steps 5, 6, 7, and 8 will then get you to your goal. So I think the biggest thing is to, as a business, to make sure that you're planning ahead, that you're essentially creating the bookends for your video before you even shoot your video. And I think that's the biggest mistake we see, and that's what we try to educate on more than anything, is to plan ahead, start with your goals, and then work from the front towards those goals.
Excellent. That sounds very insightful. Now, I know the listeners have heard, I've heard, and everybody's heard about videos going viral. And that's probably one out of every 5 million actually go viral. But some of those, but that might be, like, what was it, the Chaluka woman or something? And she ended up getting a job out of it and everything else. And then there were some other videos, too, that, some of them were, like, even on 60 Minutes last night, some of the videos that they had, they were standing there talking to a guy, and people were coming up from all over the world, and it wasn't edited, and they were asked. They knew this person from YouTube, and then they had one guy on Vine who's only doing 6 seconds videos, and then other companies hire them and use them to promote their productions or their products, even if it's just a T-shirt with somebody's name on it. But what are some of the things that people can do? I mean, should they realistically shoot for something that's going to go viral? I mean, that would be great, but in reality, where can they get something in between a regular mainstream video that's going to sit on their website and maybe be posted on their Facebook and Twitter pages and Pinterest or whatever, and actually going viral? There is a balance somewhere in between, correct?
Right. Well, the thing to keep in mind, too, is if you're a business and you want a viral video, it's great for brand recognition, but is it going to get you the financial return you want or to set you up for what some of your business goals are? And I think that the word viral is great in a sense that people understand what that means, but it doesn't have to be viral in the sense of 1 million shares or 500,000 comments. It could go viral within your own small community. If your target market is really only 1,000 people nationwide, and then you hit 800 of those 1,000, you're still viral within your community. And I think that's what one of the best things you can learn from viral videos is that most of the time they're not one-and-done videos. Yes, we get the people that show up and they produce one video and all of a sudden they're internet stars. But the majority of the ones that really get the most traction are what we call video in a series. It's like a lot of the insurance companies do. They don't just produce one commercial. They produce multiple commercials so that you're constantly in their thought zone. They're thinking about you when something may happen to their car or their home, or that they're constantly sending more and more content. And I think that's a way to build your community, which will then essentially get you viral, is to produce more than one video and keep promoting it to a sense of, all right, if you're hitting over 50% of the market you need to go after, then technically you could call it viral because you're hitting the majority.
Yeah, I gotta interrupt you here. Visitors, listeners rather, you are getting some serious knowledge here to grow your business, reasonable expectations, having videos in serious. And I want to talk to you in a second about what you just touched on about the thought zone, right? Because you got me going with that one. I love that type stuff. But I want to let the listeners know that this episode will be archived on my website, RCS Technology Solutions. Just go to the media section, scroll down, radio show, so you'll be able to hear this over again. I'm also going to share it on all my 11 social media sites, as well as Brian's going to share it. So it will be available and also on WCAP's website as soon as we get that finalized for them. But this is some serious knowledge. So if you're not at the point of getting your videos done now, you want to tag this, put it as a bookmark, and come back and listen to it. So when you get to that point, you can educate yourself for free. This is a totally free interview for you, and it's priceless information. Brian, I wanted to ask you about the thought zone. Now, that's, to me, I love that. I'm in marketing, and getting into people's thought zone is where the real money's at. And if you don't get into their thought zone and create the AMDs and all that other stuff, I mean, you have me. I'm standing up right now. I'm not even sitting down.
That's my goal.
Yeah, but I mean, that's my world. I mean, I love this stuff, and but I know it's so real and it's so valuable. Can you explain to the viewers a little bit about the thought zone and the value of getting into the thought zone, whether it's with their videos or content?
Sure. So the thought zone is that place that you're thinking about when, let's say, you're at a conference or you're listening to you're in a meeting at the company meeting, and while one person is talking, you're thinking about something else. Maybe it's what are you going to make for dinner, or where are you going to pick up, who's going to pick up your kids today with your busy schedule, or how are you going to pay for the next bill that comes in? All those things in the back of your mind that you're constantly thinking about, that may not be in that present moment of what's happening in front of you. That's the thought zone. So you want to cater your content to that area of how do you connect with people that are already thinking about what you offer.
Nice. I love it. And you're 100% right, especially like when you're doing your content and you're creating your AMDs and all these other things. Getting into the thought zone. If somebody wanted more leads, just to give another type of an example, in their thought zone, say they were thinking about SEO, they wanted more leads, so that would be the thought zone, that they're looking for more conversions in their website, they're looking for more people to find their website. So that is the thought zone, and when you can create a message around that, which might just be as simple as generate more leads and conversions. 7 tips to generate more leads and conversions. That's an example of getting into the thought zone. And the fact that you know about that, I mean, that just sets you apart. So can you give the listeners your contact info? I mean, we still have a couple more minutes, but I'd like to get them a couple of times.
Sure. If anybody's got any questions, they can feel free to email us at info@emblemediainc.com, or you can always call our Chicago number here at 773-516-4547. And I would be more than happy to answer questions if the listeners have questions about any of the content I'm talking about today.
Excellent. And if somebody actually wanted to hire you and you were in a different part of the state, is that cost prohibitive? Do you have a video series that people can put they can buy for a couple $100 and just learn how to do a lot of this themselves? And
we do have an online course actually coming out. We are in the final stages of development for that. We've got a white paper available now if anybody's interested in that. It will give you 49 tips on a lot of what we're talking about here, the staging, the strategy, the planning, a little bit of the shooting and the filming and the editing, but a lot of it's what we're talking about here. But then we have a course going live. It's a do-it-yourself video training wheels where you learn everything from the strategy, where you set your goals. It's fully hands-on, worksheets, everything that we're expecting to go live just after Thanksgiving, and we start pre-selling that in about 2.5 weeks.
Excellent, and that would be a great gift for anybody who is either an entrepreneur or a business owner, a family member of one. They might want to get that for them. Brian, we do have to go. I just want to give your name, Brian Sly, S-L-Y. He is on Facebook, and you can also find his business page, Emblem Media, also on Facebook. Can you give your contact info one more time, please?
Sure. Info@emblemediainc.com.
Excellent. Brian, thank you so much. You've been listening to Internet Marketing Business Solutions with Ronald Couming of RCS Technology Solutions, where we help you achieve even greater success using various internet marketing media tools.